English.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen Joe.
And I'm Cameron Word.
Thank you for taking the initiative today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was interesting having to say your words.
Well, because sometimes Kristen, her thoughts are somewhere else, and she forgets.
We understand.
And Cameron is right there to save the day. Okay. So we are talking about pregnancy cravings for the food dialogue.
Yes.
And the subtitle is I Did Some Research. Okay. And basically, I don't think cravings are something that just a pregnant woman feels, but I think that people who are stressed, under high stress, have cravings for sweet things.
Yes.
It's a biological reaction from what I hear.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think whenever a woman is pregnant, obviously there are a lot of like hormones and changes and stuff. So I think the body really does.
Yeah.
I want to eat this.
Yeah.
These very strong cravings.
Right.
But if you're stressed or, you've had some difficulty, your body can just really want to eat one thing.
I tell you, they say, like, if you don't sleep a proper amount, the next day, you're going to be eating sweets.
Oh, yeah.
It craves that. It wants sugar.
Yes.
Okay. So here are some expressions that we're going to cover. Guilty pleasure.
A guilty pleasure is something that you really enjoy, but it's kind of a secret. Like, you don't like people to know.
Yeah, and you feel kind of bad about it.
You're
embarrassed.
A little
ashamed
that you enjoy something.
That's right.
Yeah. And then our next one is make sense.
Yeah. So if something makes sense or it doesn't make sense.
It's understandable or it's logical.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. It's not understandable.
Yeah. And I tell you, this expression is used so often with native speakers.
All the time.
All the time, right? Okay. Link to something, L-I-N-K, to something.
So this link, like we have a link on the internet.
Yes.
It is something that connects to something else.
Okay. All right. These are the three expressions that we're going to cover. Listen for them as you listen to the dialogue. I did some research on pregnancy cravings, and you know what I learned?
What?
I learned that pregnancy cravings aren't just guilty pleasures. They can be a signal of changes in one's nutritional needs.
It makes sense since you are eating for two now.
It's also linked to pregnancy hormones, which could be why some foods that I usually love don't taste good right now.
It's helpful to know that your body is telling you more than that you're hungry for something weird. Okay, Stacy begins by saying, I did some research on cravings, and you know what I learned? Okay, so she did some research on pregnancy cravings. So cravings is our power vocab today.
That is the feeling of really wanting to eat something. And originally it was only about eating. I have a craving for pizza or a craving for chocolate.
Yeah.
But now we can use cravings for something you want passionately. Like you can.
Like, what do you mean?
Like if someone has a really strong dream in their life, like they have this craving for a better life, or a craving for, I don't know,
fame.
Yeah. It's something, craving for maybe even money. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's not that you just want it. It's just like.
Really, 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 really strong desire.
I really need this thing. But it is most often related to food.
Food. Okay. All right. And I mean, it doesn't have to be sweet, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be sour. It could be like
salty.
punshik.
Yeah, like tteokbokki. Sometimes I really crave rosé tteokbokki.
Rosé.
Yeah.
You know, rosé is so yummy. Like rosé, whatever. Like
rosé
pasta,
rosé wine.
Yeah. Add cheese or milk or dairy. It just makes it so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, one thing I have a craving for sometimes.
What?
Like You know when you have kimchi-jjim?
Yes.
And you have like the 묵은지, like the really old
yeah.
kimchi?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I crave it.
You like that?
Yeah.
You know what I love?
What do you love?
So I have a craving for, on occasions, 묵은지 고등어 조림. Oh boy.
I don't like boiled fish, but
yeah, me too.
I would just eat the 묵은지.
Me too. But that 묵은지 is so tasty. Oh, is that good? Okay. All right, enough about cravings. Let's continue.
Yes.
Noah says, what? What did you learn? And Stacy says, I learned that pregnancy cravings aren't just guilty pleasures. They can be a signal of changes in one's nutritional needs.
Yes.
Okay. So cravings aren't just guilty pleasures.
Yes.
So, like if you have like, cravings for ice cream or like, sweets or maybe certain types of food, they're not a guilty pleasure. What does this mean?
So a guilty pleasure is something that you enjoy, but you feel bad for enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's often like food, so cake.
Yeah.
Or that type of stuff. But it can also be TV shows that you really like, but they're just...
not educational.
They're terrible shows.
It's just like reality shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that they're bad. Like, they're not... There's no value in them, but you just love watching them.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you need to kind of like, space out.
So most often we're talking about food or entertainment that we're consuming and feel bad about.
Okay.
Here she's talking about food, though.
Yeah.
And she says that it can be a signal that there are changes in your nutritional needs. So it could be a sign that your body is saying, hey, you need this thing.
Right. Like your body is saying, I need to have something sour.
Right.
I need to have something, a little less sour.
Right.
Or less spicy. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, if it's like, for example, if you start craving sour food, maybe you need is it called lactic acid? Like the thing in kimchi that makes it sour is something can actually be good for our body.
Yeah.
And it's that craving is kind of telling your body you need that vitamin.
All right. And Noah says, it makes sense since you are eating for 2 now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it means it's logical or it's understandable.
That's right.
Why that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you just said, I can understand why. Okay. And what does Stacy say?
It's also linked to pregnancy hormones, which could be why some foods that I usually love don't taste good right now.
Okay. So there's another factor.
Yes.
In these cravings. It's linked to pregnancy hormones.
Yeah.
So if A is linked to B,
yes,
it is connected to?
It's connected to. There is a relationship.
Yeah.
So, for example, these cravings, they aren't coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
There's a reason they have these cravings. And it's because a woman's body, when she's pregnant, has different hormones than when she's not pregnant.
Right.
Right? So that's saying that there is a link, there is a connection or relationship to.
Yeah.
So we've used this, it's linked to pregnancy hormones.
Yes, that's right. It's so very true. Because some foods that I usually love don't taste good right now. So maybe she loved eating like red meat, all the time. Now she doesn't crave it. Maybe she's craving vegetables.
Yeah, could be.
And Noah says, it's helpful to know that your body is telling you more than that you're hungry for something weird.
Yes.
Okay. It's helpful to know, or it's helpful to, is our power pattern.
This is when you want to talk about something that is beneficial, that will be a help to you, but it won't solve everything. So here, there are a lot of things to worry about when you're pregnant. You're having a child. Is the baby okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I have these weird cravings.
Right.
Are they normal? Am I sick?
Yeah.
Is something wrong?
Right.
So Noah's saying, it's good to know that this is normal.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about this.
Right.
It is helpful to you.
Okay.
Maybe not in a physical sense, but for your mental state, it is helpful to know. It is good to know this new information.
So it's interesting when you're pregnant. Yeah. So these are signals that your body is like communicating to you.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about like, are you hungry or not? But the body is saying, hey, mama, you need to eat this.
You need to eat something.
And don't eat that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and listen to that one more time.
I did some research on pregnancy cravings, and you know what I learned?
What?
I learned that pregnancy cravings aren't just guilty pleasures. They can be a signal of changes in one's nutritional needs.
It makes sense since you are eating for two now.
It's also linked to pregnancy hormones, which could be why some foods that I usually love don't taste good right now.
It's helpful to know that your body is telling you more than that you're hungry for something weird.
Okay, so let's have a quick review through Power Note. We're on pages 82 and 83 of our Power English textbook. A guilty pleasure is something that you enjoy secretly.
Yeah.
And the reason why you enjoy it secretly is because, well, maybe some people think it's a waste of time. Maybe some people think, oh, that's not very educational.
Yes.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. I never expected to see you reading a gossip magazine.
I guess you could say it's my guilty pleasure.
Gossip magazines are the best. And gossip magazines, no, they're not the best. But when I do go home, when I go to LA, I always get a few. Yeah. And what are gossip magazines?
So
In America.
In America, the gossip magazines are the magazines that have all of the celebrity news.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even real news.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's not true at all.
Uh-huh.
They're just trying to get people to read the magazines.
Right.
Just make up crazy stories.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Sleeping in late on Saturdays is one of my guilty pleasures. Sleeping in on Saturday is a guilty pleasure. Why do you think that would be even considered a guilty pleasure?
Because you feel like on the weekends you should get up at a regular time so that you can either clean the house or do something productive.
Right.
But if you sleep in to noon, kind of feels like, oh, half the day is gone.
True.
It's kind of guilty, but you love it so much.
Do you have a guilty pleasure?
I mean, I think I have quite a few. Some are food related.
Okay.
Some are, I think one of my guilty pleasures. Okay. So sometimes.
Okay. All right, here we go.
On the internet.
Yeah.
I like to watch videos of people like skateboarding and then falling off.
Oh.
Or like
those kind of funny.
Or like they're at the beach.
Yeah.
And then a bird flies into them and they fall. You like those things where they like people getting hurt in like a funny way.
I understand.
I hope that the people in the movie or in the video are okay.
Okay.
But it's really funny to watch.
Yeah.
Them people get hurt.
Yeah. Or like slip and
fall.
Slip and fall. I mean, it's probably really painful, but it is really funny. Though.
Yeah, or like a dog who gets his head stuck in a fence.
Yeah.
Like, I can watch that for like hours.
That's a guilty pleasure.
It's a guilty pleasure.
I can understand, because some people would think, Cameron, why are you watching that? It's not nice. Or like, why are you, it's a waste of time.
True.
But it's something that you enjoy.
And I'll like ugly laugh. You know, you can laugh and it's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. But when something's really funny and your face just goes, I will ugly laugh at these videos.
I know why you watch that.
That's a guilty pleasure.
I know why you watch that.
Why do I watch them?
Because you want an ugly laugh. You want to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because I know in that same situation, I probably would have done the same thing.
Okay. Agreed.
I get it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If something makes sense, what you just told me, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's logical. I understand it.
I understand why you would watch those videos.
Yes.
Okay. Here are some other examples. Tell me if this line makes sense to you.
Sorry, but poetry never makes any sense to me.
Okay, so I'm a writer.
Yeah.
I'm a poet, and I write something, and I'm asking you, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Do you understand it? Is it logical? But actually, with poetry, I don't think you can really say, does it make sense?
Yeah, it depends. Some poetry is easier to understand than others. But yeah, some poetry doesn't make sense on purpose.
On purpose.
Yeah, like if you think of like Dr. Seuss, he has poetry in his books, right?
Right.
Some of what he says doesn't make sense. It's just for
musical.
fun.
Yeah, for fun.
For the rhythm or whatever.
This balance sheet doesn't make sense. Check the numbers again. The balance sheet here, maybe it's an accountant.
Yes.
And he has a sheet and he has all the numbers. It doesn't make sense. In this context, what does it mean?
It means the numbers are not matching.
Yeah.
Why is this number big?
Right.
And this number is so little. Something doesn't make sense here.
That's right. Okay. All right. So if it makes sense, okay, I get it. I understand. Yeah. If it doesn't make sense, Okay. Link to something.
There's a connection.
All right. My great-grandfather helped build the Titanic.
Wow, that's amazing that your family is linked to something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
I mean,
that's
I don't know if it's a good link.
Yeah,
knowing the history.
Yeah. Smoking has been linked to cancer for decades.
Yes. So here, obviously, we all know that smoking tobacco increases your risk of cancer. So it's linked to cancer.
Right.
And it's because it is not 100%, right? There's a clear connection, but it's not like 100% the cause.
That's right.
Because I've known some people, they smoke a lot.
Yeah.
And they don't.
They don't get cancer.
And then other people, they do.
They don't smoke at all, and they get lung cancer.
They get it. Yeah. So there is a link, but it's not a 100% relationship, not a 100% cause.
I agree. Okay, it's helpful too, which is saying
it's good to know, it's beneficial to know something or to do something.
Okay. It's helpful to shake the salad dressing before you pour it.
Yeah. Like this, yeah.
Yeah.
It's helpful to have someone as smart as you around. It's beneficial to have someone as smart as you, Kristen.
That's what I want to tell you, Cameron.
Oh.
It's very helpful to have someone so smart around.
I think the same about you every time we are in the studio.
All right. Craving is our power vocab on page 84. Do check out the definition. And let's thank our sponsor.
한국토익위원회에서 취업과 승진을 위한 토익 스피킹 응시권을 드립니다.
Thank you so much.